Hey everyone, welcome to Grey Wizard Gaming. I'm Richard, and we are doing a review of Shards of Infinity. This is, strangely enough, a game from Ultra Pro, which is like sports cards, and I feel like when I was a kid, maybe like Marvel cards or something. This is pretty goofy to me, but I heard about it. You guys know I love deck builders. And it's fun, guys. I like it. So I thought I would talk about it. So this is just a little tiny bit asymmetric. This is maybe about as asymmetric as DC deck building. Maybe. It's just one of these things where you have these characters, and the characters have a little bit of their own, like some gimmick that they can do that nobody else can do. And they also react differently with some of the various cards in the game. Otherwise, just like DC deck building, every character can buy every card in the game, but some cards just aren't quite as good for those other cards, and that's kind of enough. It's would I like more asymmetry? Sure. Yeah, absolutely I would. But my camera girl is like, these are big character cards. And that's kind of interesting, right? Like, I think that it's very interesting that every character has such massive mega cards. And the dials are cool. Now notice that there's two dials. There's hit points, which all of these games basically have. And then, well, no, they don't all have that. Yeah, because indeed, yeah. But a lot of the games have these hit points. And then you have this other trait called mastery. And what makes this game interesting and fun is mostly this attribute, mastery. Because as the game is progressing, you have to decide, are you going to spend your time buying better cards, or attacking the enemy players, or increasing your mastery? Now, a lot of the cards, which start out very mediocre, become good later on in the game based off of your mastery rating. And of course, that is most noticeable on the Infinity Shard. This is what the game is entirely based around. That's the name, Shards of Infinity. And you notice that as you progress, the mastery level determines how much damage this card does. Everybody starts with 1. So in the beginning, you have 10 cards. And so every 10 draws, you're guaranteed to get this card. Now, in the beginning, it does 2 damage. At 10 mastery, it does 3 damage. At 20 mastery, it does 5 damage. And then at 30 damage, it does, 30 mastery, it does infinite damage. That's right, infinite damage. So if you're playing a 4-person game, then at 30 mastery, each round, you can just say infinite damage to one person. Oh wait, can you assign damage to multiple people? I think basically you win at that point. The first person to get both 30 mastery plus to get their infinite shard wins, because they're just going to do infinite damage unless somebody has some crazy card. So you have this timer that if you can kill somebody who's been spending their entire game focused on mastery, then you get rid of your threat. You may never increase your mastery that much at all. You're just killing people. Boom. On the other hand, if they can play defensively enough while still increasing their mastery, then they are going to win. Because it doesn't matter that this other person has been spending most of the game increasing their damage potential, and they're now killing the other players. If you hit mastery 30, you're going to win. Now, for me, I tend to start a little too strong, guys. I do. I play. I'm nice to people. I try not to make any major enemies. And pretty soon everybody turns on me and I lose. That's okay. I feel like it's a little bit of a compliment. But it's definitely a game where if you're perceived as a large threat, they can group up and take you out. And there's not much you can do about it. And that's kind of a negative in the game, is that unlike games like DC Deck Building, where you can keep playing the whole game, no matter how negative your score goes, because people keep giving you weakness cards, you can keep playing. I feel like that's a little bit more modern. This game is definitely much more like Magic the Gathering, old school, almost like a collectible deck builder, but it's just not, because it's each of these boxes comes with more cards. Some of the cards add a couple extra things like Relics of the Future. What it does is it gives everybody 2 choices of cards, which at 10 mastery, they can choose which of the 2 cards they want. So that adds a little bit more asymmetry to the game. Meanwhile, Shards of Infinity, Shadow of Salvation, it adds a boss fight kind of mode, and I think you can add a little bit of maybe cooperative gameplay. I didn't look into that. I only wanted to play the competitive parts. I just felt like I've got lots of cooperative games. I didn't need that in this, so I haven't really looked at it. But yeah, I think the game is good. I think that it is not the best game. It's not the strongest game. It's not the most advanced game technology, but the mastery technique guarantees the game is not going to drag on. And as much as I love games like DC Deck Builder, it can often drag on, guys. Like, if you all evenly pull away the strong cards, you just may not ever be able to get to the point of defeating the last heroes, which ends the game in DC Deck Builder. This game is guaranteed to end. Almost. You can play cards to reduce other people's mastery and kind of pull them back. But for the most part, I just haven't seen that happen. It just ends, and that's good. Sometimes you want a shorter game that's guaranteed to be fun and not drag on, because sometimes we got to go to work the next day, guys, right? So with that, I do like the game, and I recommend it. If you like deck builders, you're going to enjoy this game. If you need a shorter game, you're going to like this game. And I think the expansions, especially the Relics of the Future, is a really strong expansion. Consider adding it to your collection. All right, guys. Bye.